I'm Joe Micallef from Grow Up Sales. For the last 28 years, I've been attending, sponsoring, exhibiting, and speaking at conferences all over the globe. And at every conference I've attended, I've gained lots of great value from these really important events. So what I'm going to do today is share with you my top 7 tips for being a highly effective exhibitor at your next conference. Tip number 1, be purposeful. What is the purpose for exhibiting at that conference? What value do you want to gain? Is it simply to just build your profile, or more importantly, is it to build connections? That's right, connections. We're not selling at a conference. We're meeting people that we've met before, we're re-engaging with them, or we're meeting new people to build our connections. Not a contact database, but connections. So be very clear about what your purpose is going into that conference and make sure that you achieve it. Tip number 2, be prepared. Be prepared going to the conference to respond to common questions like, so what do you do? How's business? Business is always great. Now's not the time to be complaining about business, especially when you're trying to build those connections. What do you do? Don't just sell what you do. Talk about challenges that are facing that audience. Ask them if they're experiencing those challenges and highlight the fact that your wonderful business provides a great solution to those challenges. Prepare your booth. Make it open and inviting. Use great things like these tabletops. These are great conversation pieces. Like you can get a bunch of people around a table like this with some drinks. Leverage all the wonderful opportunities at an event to engage with more people. Right? So make sure that you are prepared to engage with as many connections as possible. Bring a guest. I always encourage you that if you're not confident in your own right, it's easier with 2 people there. Now I know for some organizations, there's a limited budget as to how many people can attend. That's okay. Outreach to people you know that are coming to the conference and invite them to come to the booth in advance of the conference, and they could be your guest at that booth. The more comfortable you are with the people that you're surrounded with, the easier it's going to be for you to make connections. Tip number 4, be the host. Be the host. Even if it's not your event, you are playing a really important role. And I say this to all my staff, that whenever we sponsored or exhibited at an event, we acted like the host. We know exactly what the agenda is about. We know exactly what was happening preceding the attendees coming into the exhibition hall. We knew about drinks. We made sure that people we were speaking to, we went and got them drinks. It may not be your event, but if you're investing in this event, then I encourage you to be the host at that event. Tip number 5, be interesting by being interested. Ask great questions of all the people you meet. As people are walking past, most people at conferences have lanyards with their names on them. Use people's names, but be interesting by being interested in them. Don't talk about what you have. Find out about what they do at their bank. Find out about the challenges and struggles that they may be facing at their bank. And then you can talk about the wonderful solutions. You know what it's like when you meet somebody for the first time and all they do is talk about themselves? They're not that interesting, are they? But if they ask you great questions, then you feel like, wow, this person genuinely wants to know me. Tip number 6, be proactive. And I can tell you now, this is where most exhibitors fall down. As an attendee, as a banker, and I was a CEO of a bank, I used to go to lots of conferences and meet lots of exhibitors. And surprise, surprise, I would give them my card, and surprise, surprise, very few would actually follow me up. Very few would send me an email. I'm a pretty engaging kind of guy, but still, no follow-up. You must be proactive. Be proactive with all the wonderful connections you've met or people that you are meeting again, right? So it's important that you're proactive. Think about your strategy for follow-up after the event. For example, I do a lot of LinkedIn outreaches after an event that I speak at. So as an exhibitor, when you have your wonderful little fishbowl full of business cards, what are you doing with that? And please don't just send out one salesy email. Send a few, but every email you send, add value. And also personalize those emails, because then people will feel like, yes, he or she did remember me. And the very last bit of advice I would give all of you to ensure that you're highly effective at being an exhibitor is to be confident. Be confident. If you're the shy, retiring type that likes to hide behind their cell phone throughout a conference, especially during these wonderful, important moments, and that people are attending the exhibition hall, then don't go to the conference. Don't be there, right? And I'm not asking you to be an extrovert. We're not all extroverts, but be confident about engaging people. I can assure you that if people attending the conference want you to speak to them. They do, they want you to speak to them. Stop having this limiting belief that people don't want to be sold to. You're not selling to them. You're just asking them questions, you're uncovering some of their challenges and their needs, and then you're telling them all about your wonderful solutions, but all you're doing at a conference is building connections, and then you're going to follow up from there. So they're my top 7 tips for being a highly effective exhibitor. I encourage you to embrace them. I encourage you, most importantly, to be prepared before your next conference, and I guarantee you'll get tremendous value out of all these great events. Good luck.